Seniors' foods that prevent stroke in seniors. These 8 nutrients could save your life. Longevity life. I want you to picture something with me. It is a quiet Tuesday morning. The sun is peeking through your kitchen window. The coffee is brewing. You are slicing a banana into your oatmeal, maybe humming along to a tune you have known for 50 years. Everything feels fine. But what if I told you that what you put on that breakfast plate, or what you leave off, could quietly be shaping the health of your brain and your future? Hi, I am Dr. John Smith, and welcome to Longevity Life, where we talk about real health for real life after 60. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a moment that felt off? Maybe your hand did not cooperate the way it should. Maybe your words felt tangled for a second. Or maybe you just felt an overwhelming fog, as if your brain stepped out of the room. These tiny moments might seem harmless, but in many cases, they are whispers from your body warning of something bigger. Something we all hope to avoid: a stroke. Now, here is what most people do not realize. The road to stroke often begins silently, long before any symptom shows up. And it is not just about high blood pressure or genetics. It is also about the food you eat or do not eat every single day. But here is the good news. Science has shown us that 8 specific nutrients, simple ones you can find in everyday meals, can significantly lower stroke risk, especially after the age of 65. This is not about trends detox teas or cutting out everything you love. This is about choosing better, not perfect. Adding things in, not taking joy out. In today's episode, I am going to walk you through these 8 nutrients. You will learn what they do, where to find them, and how to build simple, affordable, brain-loving meals at home. And I want you to stay with me until the very end, because nutrient number 6 is something most doctors forget to mention, but it could be the key to keeping calcium out of your arteries and into your bones where it belongs. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Do you have a favorite feel-good meal that makes your body feel lighter, sharper, or just plain happy? Type it in the comments. You might inspire someone else today. And if you are someone who has been told you are fine, even though you do not always feel that way, this episode is for you. So take a sip of that coffee. Grab a pen if you like, because we are about to explore 8 powerful nutrients that just might help you avoid the most dangerous surprise of all: a stroke that did not have to happen. Let's get started. The quiet danger. Stroke after 65. Let us talk about something most people do not like to think about. Stroke. Not because it is rare, but because it is too common. In the United States, someone has a stroke every 40 seconds. And for adults over 65, the risk increases sharply. In fact, according to the CDC, nearly 3 out of 4 strokes happen in people over age 65. But here is what many seniors do not realize, and what most doctors rarely say during those quick clinic visits. Stroke does not always announce itself. It does not always come with pain. It does not always give you a warning sign that is loud and clear. Often it starts quietly, silently. A tiny clot, a narrowing artery, a moment of inflammation that builds up over months or even years. Now, if you are thinking, but my doctor checks my blood pressure and cholesterol, that is great. You should absolutely stay on top of those numbers. But stroke prevention is not just about the numbers. It is about what you feed your blood vessels. It is about what you do or do not absorb from your meals. It is about the silent shifts inside your body as you age. Let me explain. After the age of 65, your body changes in ways that most people do not talk about at dinner tables. Your blood vessels become less elastic, meaning they are more prone to stiffness, pressure, buildup, and damage. Your digestive system becomes less efficient, especially in absorbing key nutrients like vitamin B12 and magnesium. Inflammation increases quietly in your bloodstream, even if you feel fine. Your plate might still look full, but it may be lacking what your brain and heart truly need. That is what makes stroke so sneaky in older adults. Because many people over 65 are doing their best. They are eating what they grew up believing was healthy. They are taking medications. They are keeping their weight stable. But deep inside, tiny nutritional gaps are forming. And over time, those gaps can become cracks. And those cracks, when combined with stress dehydration or a minor infection, can trigger something serious. Here is a real-world example. A man in his early 70s told me once, "Doc, I never smoked. I walk every morning and I take my aspirin, but I still had a mini stroke." When we looked deeper, we found that his diet, though well-intentioned, was low in omega-3 fats, low in soluble fiber, and completely missing vitamin K2. That is what inspired me to make this episode, because many of us, perhaps even you, are walking around with invisible risks, and yet the solution is not far away. It is in the pantry, the fridge, the choices we make one forkful at a time. So let me ask you, have you or someone you love ever had a stroke or a TIA? A transient ischemic attack, often called a mini stroke. Type in the comments if you have. You are not alone, and your story may help someone else take their health more seriously. The truth is, stroke is not random. It is often the result of years of tiny decisions. Some we make with full knowledge, some we make because we simply were never told better. But that changes today. In the next section, we are going to walk through the 8 most powerful nutrients, and I will explain in plain language exactly how each one works in your body, where to find it, and how to start using it in your meals starting this week. So stay with me. We are just getting to the part that can truly change the way you age. Let's dive in. The science simplified how these nutrients protect your brain. Now that we understand the silent threat of stroke after 65, let us get to the part that puts the power back in your hands, or more specifically, on your plate. We are talking about 8 nutrients, not 8 theories, not 8 fads, but 8 proven powerful and practical tools that can strengthen your blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and support your brain for the long haul. Let us start with number 1. Nutrient number 1. Omega-3. Fatty acids. Think of omega-3 as oil for your engine, but in this case, the engine is your brain and your cardiovascular system. Omega-3 fats, especially EPA eicosapentaenoic acid and DHA docosahexaenoic acid, do 3 amazing things. They reduce chronic inflammation, which is one of the root causes of artery damage. They make your blood less sticky, lowering your risk of clots. They support a steady heartbeat and help reduce the risk of atrial fibrillation, a common condition in seniors that increases stroke risk. Where to find it? Wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, flax seeds ground, chia seeds, walnuts, algae-based oil great for plant-based eaters. Meal idea. A breakfast bowl with 1/2 cup of oats, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, a handful of blueberries, and a splash of almond milk. Simple, fast, and full of brain-boosting power. Nutrient number 2, soluble fiber. Most people know fiber keeps things moving, but soluble fiber does so much more. It is like a sponge in your intestines that grabs onto bad cholesterol LDL and helps remove it from the body. It also stabilizes blood sugar, feeds healthy gut bacteria, helps reduce inflammation throughout the body. Stroke connection. Lower LDL, less plaque in arteries. Better blood flow to your brain. Best sources: steel-cut oats, lentils and black beans, apples with the skin, barley, Brussels sprouts. Daily tip: swap white bread for whole grain. Add beans to 1 meal a day. Even 5 extra grams of soluble fiber can lower stroke risk by up to 12%. Nutrient number 3. Potassium and magnesium. These 2 minerals work like the behind-the-scenes team, keeping your blood pressure stable and your arteries relaxed. Potassium helps offset sodium, which is a major cause of high blood pressure. Magnesium helps muscles, including your heart, relax and function smoothly. It also supports blood sugar balance and reduces arterial stiffness. Natural sources: bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, avocados, almonds, pumpkin seeds, Swiss chard. Important note: if you have kidney disease, always check with your doctor before adding high potassium foods or supplements. Otherwise, whole food sources are safe and effective for most seniors. Practical swap: instead of chips or crackers, try a baked sweet potato with a sprinkle of cinnamon. It is delicious and naturally rich in potassium. Quick interaction break: if you already eat 2 or more of these foods weekly, type "doing it already" in the comments. If not, do not worry, we're just getting started, and I will help you take one small step at a time. Now, before we continue to the next set of nutrients, let me leave you with one thought. Your brain is hungry for the right fuel? It is not about eating less. It is about eating smarter. And these first 3 nutrients are a fantastic start. In the next section, I will share a real story about a man named George who thought he was doing everything right until he had a silent warning. And what he did next changed the way he aged one breakfast at a time. Stick with me. This next part will show you just how real and powerful these changes can be. A true story: George and the power of a single breakfast. Let me introduce you to someone. His name is George, 74 years old, lives in a small town in Florida, loves fishing classic cars and blueberry pancakes on Sunday mornings. George is one of those men you would call solid, calm, dependable, not one to complain about much, which is why when he had what doctors later called a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, his wife almost missed it. It happened while he was watering the plants. He told me later I bent over to fix the hose, and when I stood up, I could not feel the left side of my face. It only lasted about 20 seconds. But my wife said my speech sounded funny, so she made me sit down and called 911. At the hospital, his scans were clear. The doctors called it a mini stroke, a warning shot. No permanent damage, but a wake-up call. George was lucky, but also scared. When we spoke a few days later, I asked him, "George, how is your diet?" He said, "I eat what I have always eaten. Eggs and toast in the morning, sandwich at lunch, meat and potatoes at night." That is when I knew we had work to do. See, George's meals were not bad, but they were missing key protectors. No omega-3 fats, very little fiber, 0 fermented foods, and not a green vegetable in sight. He was eating like a man in his 40s, not one in his 70s, with narrowing arteries and rising inflammation. So we made a deal. We would not overhaul his life overnight. We would just start with breakfast, the Brain Smart breakfast. We created 1/2 cup of cooked steel-cut oats, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, a handful of blueberries, a sprinkle of ground cinnamon, 1 hard-boiled egg, green tea with a splash of lemon. He prepped it the night before. Took less than 10 minutes. No sugar, no processed junk, just real food. And here is what happened after 3 months. His blood pressure dropped from 142/90 to 128/82. His cholesterol improved, especially his LDL. He reported clearer thinking and more energy in the afternoon. He lost 7 pounds without trying. And perhaps most importantly, he felt in control again. "I never thought breakfast could do that," George told me. "But now it is the one part of my day I never skip." Why this story matters. Because George is not unusual. He is most of us. We get used to habits. We assume if something has not hurt us yet, it never will. But the body does not work that way, especially not after 65. It is always sending us messages, sometimes in symptoms, sometimes in silence. If George's story reminds you of someone, maybe your spouse, your brother, your dad, share this episode with them. It might feel like just a podcast, but one meal could change everything. And if you are thinking, "I do not know where to start," remember this: start with one change. Because one change done consistently becomes a habit. And that habit, just like George's breakfast, can quietly protect your brain every single day. Practical wisdom: 8 nutrients that build a stroke-safe plate. So what can you actually do today, this week, to start building a plate that protects your brain? Let me walk you through the remaining 5 nutrients, and then I will give you a simple daily checklist. Think of this as your nutrition toolkit. No hype, no hard rules, just powerful habits you can live with. Nutrient number 4, antioxidants. If you have ever heard the phrase "eat the rainbow," this is why. Antioxidants are compounds in colorful fruits, vegetables, teas, and spices that fight oxidative stress, one of the key drivers of plaque buildup and arterial damage. What they do: reduce chronic inflammation, protect blood vessel linings, improve blood flow to the brain, may reduce stroke severity and improve recovery. Top sources: blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, red cabbage, beets, spinach and kale, green tea, turmeric especially with a pinch of black pepper. Brain snack idea: a cup of green tea, a square of 70% dark chocolate, and a handful of fresh berries. That is not medicine, that is delicious. Nutrient number 5, vitamin K2. This one is often misunderstood or completely missed. Calcium is critical for bones. Yes, but without proper guidance, it can land in the wrong place, like your arteries. That is where vitamin K2 comes in. It acts like a traffic officer, telling calcium to go into your bones and stay out of your blood vessels. Why it matters: prevents arterial calcification, improves flexibility of blood vessels, works synergistically with vitamin D. Top sources: pasture-raised egg yolks, fermented cheeses like Gouda or Brie, natto fermented soybeans, very rich in K2, chicken liver, stroke smart breakfast. 2 scrambled eggs with spinach and mushrooms, topped with a little shredded aged cheese and served with a slice of whole grain toast. Nutrient number 6, vitamin B12. After age 60, vitamin B12 deficiency becomes more common and more dangerous. Low B12 can mimic stroke symptoms, memory loss, tingling, unsteady gait, and confusion. It also increases homocysteine, a compound linked to higher stroke risk. Where to find it? Beef liver, very rich. Eggs, dairy milk, cheese, yogurt, salmon, sardines, tuna. Fortified cereals for vegetarians. Supplement tip: most seniors benefit from a B12 supplement. 250 to 500 micrograms daily is both safe and effective. If you are deficient, your doctor may prescribe weekly injections to restore your levels. Nutrient number 7, vitamin C. Most people think of vitamin C as a cold remedy, but it is also a vascular protector. Vitamin C supports collagen production, that is the protein that keeps your blood vessels strong and flexible. It also reduces oxidation of LDL cholesterol, improves capillary integrity, speeds healing after surgery or stroke. Top sources: bell peppers, especially red and yellow, kiwi, strawberries, broccoli and Brussels sprouts, oranges and lemons, meal tip: slice red bell peppers into your salad or stir fry. They have more vitamin C than an orange and they crunch. Nutrient number 8, flavonoids. These are a special family of antioxidants found in berries, teas, dark chocolate, and many herbs. What they do: improve circulation, calm inflammation in vessel walls, help blood vessels dilate properly, reduce platelet stickiness, which lowers clot risk. Best food sources: blueberries, blackberries, and cherries, dark chocolate, green and black tea, citrus fruits and peels, fresh herbs like parsley and thyme. Evening tip: enjoy a cup of herbal tea like hibiscus or chamomile with a square of dark chocolate, a relaxing, heart-loving habit. Your daily stroke-conscious checklist. Here is how to build these nutrients into your everyday life without stress, confusion, or guesswork. Morning smoothie with oats, chia seeds, banana, spinach, and blueberries. 1 boiled egg or a small serving of yogurt. green tea or water with lemons, midday. Whole grain sandwich with greens and avocado, side of lentil soup or bean salad. A piece of fruit, kiwi, apple, or orange. Dinner. Grilled salmon or baked tofu, steamed or roasted veggies. Broccoli, Brussels, sprouts. Beets, sweet potato or quinoa, sprinkle herbs, or add a bit of aged cheese. Evening wind down herbal tea, like chamomile or hibiscus. A square of dark chocolate. Optional B12 supplement, if your doctor recommends it. If this checklist feels doable, write "I'm in the comments. Let others know you are taking the first step, because change is contagious. Let us take a deep breath together. We have just walked through 8 powerful proven nutrients. We have looked at the science, the food, the stories, and maybe you saw a part of yourself in there. So let us slow down for a moment and bring it all home. Because at the end of the day, this is not about being perfect. This is not about becoming a nutritionist or tracking every bite. It is about something far more personal. It is about choosing a direction, not perfection. Every single time you choose to add a handful of berries to your breakfast, every time you swap white bread for whole grain, every time you say yes to salmon or lentils or green tea, you are not just feeding your body. You are feeding your future. You are telling your brain, I have not given up on you. You are telling your heart, I still want you strong. You are telling yourself, I deserve to feel better longer. And that matters. Here is a quick recap of what we covered. Omega-3, fatty acids, reduce inflammation, support heart rhythm, soluble fiber, lower bad cholesterol feed, good gut bacteria, potassium and magnesium, keep blood pressure balanced, antioxidants protect vessels from oxidative stress, vitamin K2 direct calcium into bones, not arteries, vitamin B12 protect nerves, reduce stroke risk, vitamin C maintain flexible, healthy blood vessels, flavonoids boost circulation, reduce clot risk. You do not have to do it all today. Start with one food, one breakfast, one habit you can keep. If you are still listening right now, I want to thank you sincerely. You gave your time, you gave your attention, and I hope you feel not just informed, but encouraged. If this episode gave you clarity, please give it forward. Click like. Subscribe to Longevity Life. Share this with someone you care about, maybe someone who has had a stroke scare, or someone who is just now starting to take their health seriously. And in the comments, I want to know, what is the one small change you will make this week? Just write it out. It could inspire another person to take their first step too. Stroke prevention is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is not a single decision. It is breakfast choices. It is what you keep in your fridge. It is loving yourself enough to age with intention. And you, my friend, are more than capable of that. Do not miss our next episode. Stroke warnings, most seniors. Miss early clues that could save your life. Because sometimes your body whispers before it screams. And I will help you hear it. Until next time, eat well. Move with joy, sleep deeply. And always, always stay curious. This is Dr. John Smith with Longevity Life. Thank you for being here.